Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new around here. My name is Ashley and I go by the Ashleyness here. And today we are playing The Sims 4 and we are in our new neighborhood that came with the Hobbies and Businesses pack. And we have a very special request from my friend Destiny. Now, I used to build a lot for her, and it's been a little minute since I have, but I'm building again, and for a lot of my challenges, instead of doing the play challenges. And so what happened was she would very much like a rundown build so that she can have renovate it and decorate it and do all the stuff to it. Well, it was quite a challenge to go ahead and do that because I've never really done that before. But I found this really cool blueprint right here. And I really like it because it's a nice layout. The rooms are a little bigger than I'm used to. But I find that it looks really nice in my opinion. Anyway, so here we go. We're just building away, trying to make the blueprint happen, make it make sense for our build that we're trying to do. I'm just deleting the ceilings here so that I can see what the heck I'm doing. And so yeah, it's just, I go a little nutso with the destroying it. But you'll see that in here in a little bit. So this little centerpiece area here that I made, I actually spent quite a lot of time on it because I ended up, I don't know, I got kind of obsessed with it. I was like, I'm gonna make this work. And then I couldn't figure out what I wanted to put in it. And so you'll see here in a minute. Right now I'm just making the bathrooms. I'm making like a little walkthroughs, and then I'm making the bedrooms. So at first the original plan had it where the one room had the closet there. So, and then I just moved it. I moved everything around a little bit here. Let's see. I put it up on a foundation a little bit so we can get those nice decks in. And then just, like moving stuff around, shifting it. It's nice to use a blueprint, but sometimes it's better to like kind of tweak it and make it your own so that you're not just like duplicating things. I mean, there's nothing wrong with duplication. Sometimes that's quite a skill in itself, a skill that I don't necessarily possess all the time. I usually use blueprints and pictures as like inspiration so that I can like kind of get like a new idea of how to build, because I kind of get into a rut where I'm just like doing the same build over and over and over again or something incredibly similar. And so it just gets boring and it's no fun. And so I went ahead and I use the blueprints quite a lot, especially right now where I'm kind of like in a little bit of a slump for my creativity, but I find it really sparks it and I'm like, yes, and I go. So here I'm just really making those decks nice, adding those stairs in there. Destiny said that she really liked how they were indented into the foundation the last time I made a build for my ink shop, which you should see. It's a really pretty build. Not that they're not all really pretty, but Anyway, so here I was really fussing with how I wanted to do the siding because as you saw in the picture, it was like kind of blocked in, but then I was like, eh. So yeah. I don't know if I'm going to narrate throughout the whole entirety of this video, but we'll see what happens. Now, these doors are very nice, and the doors are pretty much the nicest thing in this build after a while, because I kind of forgot I was going to trash it. And so, like, I kind of was, like, going really pretty for a minute there. And, like, I was like, oh, I'm going to do these doors. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do these windows. I'm going to do this, like, really pretty centerpiece and things like that. Which you'll see. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm trashing this place. Now, at the very end of this video, I do renovate this house in the way that I would have built it, without trashing it. So if you are interested in seeing both versions there at the end, which, I mean, I get it. This is kind of a long video, but it's also pretty short for most of my videos. This one only runs like 25 minutes. So if you need to skip ahead, I totally get it. And no judgment. But it is a cool build. We're just kind of getting the foundation down right now. I know it's a little tedious, but It's worth it. So I'm just getting these closets in here, and I do actually shift this closet later on because it looks like in the build, in the blueprint, that there's like a lot of storage in this house, which is really cool. Like a lot of little spaces to do stuff and store stuff, which is really nice because houses that don't have a lot of storage can be kind of a pain. So here I'm kind of fussing with the closet situation again. It took me a hot minute because I was like, okay, I don't like it, I like it, I don't like it, I like it. And then I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. And so I made a little pass through here where it goes from the bedroom through to the bathroom. And that was a little tricky because I was trying to figure out how the layout was going to go. And then I decided to copy it over and get rid of this little closet here. Because I really liked it. But then it was like, do we open up the bathroom from this side too? Or do we just do it from the bedrooms? But then what about like guests coming in and like needing the bathroom? And so it was kind of tricky. And then I realized, I should probably put a bathroom in the business area, which is technically the garage in the blueprint, but we're doing it as a like studio kind of area where they can just like whatever business you want to open, that's the space for it. And then here they have this really pretty lattice work in the picture over this deck, and so I'm getting prepared to do that by bringing this over. And it did take me a minute, but if you've never done it yourself, it is a little tricky, but like once you kind of get the hang of it, it's really not that bad. It's really just like deciding the pattern, which you'll see I kind of change it up a little bit as I go. But yeah, you just put the roof just like this, and then you do the fencing, like the little low fencing. And you can do whatever fencing you want. This is the one I chose. And then I realized I didn't need that back wall because it's going to be like a wall. And then I did it. Because, you know, plans change. And then I remember this was over the top of the room and it's not going to be there. So then I had to take that out. But anyway, and then you just like make your pattern on here, and then you just delete the ceiling. And you can do these long lines, you can do squares, you can do whatever shapes and patterns you wish. It's really not, it's not a big deal. I found that I kind of ran out on spaces here. And then this is kind of the tricky and kind of tedious part because you have to do each and every little square without doing that, without getting rid of the bottom on accident. So that's why I tilted it this way so I could kind of see a little better. And then you kind of can't see if the same color is on the roof that is on the floor, because essentially they're both foundations. So it was kind of, kind of tricky, but it turned out really pretty. And I love the shadow work that's on the ground from it. And it's really nice, and The Sims is really good about this, because like as the lighting changes throughout the day, it actually changes the shadows. So that's very realistic. So here I'm just adding more doors, and then I was like, wait, what am I going to do over here? And so then I was like, okay. And so I was like, I want to put a fireplace here. And then I was like, but these are too big, these are too small. And then I was like, maybe I can do a fireplace on both sides. And then I was like, well, I don't know. And then I was like, I really like the new ones. So it's really hard. And this is kind of where I'm still in the stage where I forgot I'm trashing this house. And so that is supposed to be ran down. And so it is a little pretty still. It's a nice foundation, nice bones. And then it was like, wait. And then I'm like, okay, let's do this one on both sides. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I got rid of the wall. Maybe if I use a different one. So I went through a lot of work on this. This is what I was kind of telling you about earlier. I was like, I really struggled with this, and I wanted it kind of like where you could see through, all the way through to the other side instead of doing it on both sides. But then it was like a struggle. And then I do settle with this one there that we have, but it is a matter of, I do fuss some more. But then I was like, well, I don't know. I kind of still like, I want it to be see-through, like go through the other side, but like I've seen those before, like fireplaces that are on go through, but then it was like, I don't know, I didn't like it. Long story short, I didn't like it. So I do change it. And I do change that, I promise, because I didn't like that. And I was like, no. I was like, maybe I could do this. I don't know. You know, and if you're a builder, like, I think you'd understand this. Like, it is really tricky. Like, you just kind of like, you fuss and fiddle so hard on these things sometimes. And it's just like, you get kind of obsessed where you're like, I must fix this. This needs to be perfect. And like I said, I kind of lost sight of this one for a second. And then I was like, right. And you can see I'm kind of starting to fiddle with like decals. And then I put in like the scratched up picture and stuff like that, because I'm like, oh yeah, we're supposed to be run down. This is the point in this video where I realize and remember that I'm supposed to make this run down. And so you're gonna see a shift and change in how I start to build and behave in this video at this point. So right now I'm just looking for more torn up pictures, and I'm not really finding any. And then I find this, and I thought that was kind of cool. And then it totally inspired me to make it run down, because I wanted it like crazy. You'll see, it gets crazy. So then I was like, I kind of feel like this needs to have like a structure in here. So I do that. And then I was like, maybe there should be holes. I'm like, no, no, no. And then I started looking for kind of cruddy looks. And I was like, well, these are good. And then I found this floor, and I was like, that's perfect. And so I just was like, okay, here we go. This is where it really kicks off. And so it's just like, okay, we're trashing it, we're trashing it, we're trashing it. And just had to keep thinking that in my brain. And so like, I was just like, okay, rundown tile work, rundown looking wood and dark and dreary, and you know, this poor house has been neglected, this really rundown looking dirty carpet. And then I was having a little fuss there with the carpet because I was like, do I want it through here or not? I don't know. And then we're just like, it goes crazy from here, you guys. You'll see it. Look, watch, just keep watching. I promise it gets nuts. Because I'm like, oh yeah, and then I need a kitchen area. And so like I do this tile here, and like I wanted to have good bones because she is going to renovate it. And so I want it to be something that she can work with, but it's got to start off terrible looking. And then yeah, I do the little foundation here, which I think I changed. I can't remember. But then yeah, we're just the bathroom, I'm just trying to find a sink that would fit and look kind of cruddy, but like, because I want it clear that this is a bathroom. And then I thought about doing the potty bush in there, and I was like, wait. So then I do this kind of old, grimy looking one. Instead, it's kind of old school, so it's like, okay, you know, maybe it's there. And then a little old shower that's all run down. Yeah. And then so yeah, and it's just kind of crowded. It doesn't make really a lot of sense for the way it's laid out. And then I get these little broken mirrors that take me forever to find. And then so that looks good, makes sense to my brain. And then this is where it starts getting kind of crazy. I know I keep saying that, but I promise this is where it gets kind of nutso. So I'm like, okay, so the beds are in here. They're just kind of in there crazy. They're just like flopped in there. And then I'm still kind of trying to be nice and like with the foliage. Oh my goodness. You'll see why I just said that here in a little bit. With the tables, I'm like, well, these look run down, but not quite what I'm looking for. And then I found this palette, and I'm like, that's kind of perfect. And I didn't want to put it where it made sense. I wanted to put it in a crazy spot. And then I put those down, and then I remembered she didn't have that kit, so I took it away. And then I was like, all these boxes are perfect, but then I'm like, oh, right, she doesn't have that kit. And so I was really trying to be mindful of that, of what she actually has and doesn't have. And then I found these, and it's just, I don't know, I start going wild. It starts going wild. And I'm like, oh, these are perfect. This is great. And then I really like these boxes. And then I found these. And I'm like, this is it. This is the way. This is the path. And so then I just really started going for it. And like, I was just like, okay, these, no. this, yes. And then I was like, trash, 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 trash. And I think at some point I turn on my my move objects on cheat so that I can like just put anything anywhere. But not quite yet. And then just kind of different variations of trash. It's just, I'm just going crazy at this point. I was starting to have a lot of fun. At first I was like, oh, this feels icky. I don't like this. I don't like doing this. And then I was like, but right. I'm supposed to, see here, I turn it on. And I'm like, right. I'm supposed to be trashing it. And so it's like, okay, this is what she wanted. She wanted it like this. And so then I started adding plants. And I'm like, this is why I said foliage earlier. Because I was like, oh, I gotta do it like it's growing through the floor. Like, it's just like so gross. And chaotic. And like, you can barely walk in this building. And like, it's just so run down. And just like, things are just everywhere. It's just crazy. But yeah, it goes, I just, like I said, I just go kind of nutso with it. And it's just, it was a lot of fun. And then I was like, oh, right, I should make sure this is clear that this is the kitchen. But I didn't want it to be like too nice. And so I was like, maybe these cabinets are just kind of wherever. Like, they're just like everywhere. And then like, here's the kitchen. Here's the kitchen. Here you go. Oh man. Yeah, it got to be really a lot of fun. And my 12-year-old daughter was kind of helping me. She's like, don't forget this, don't forget that, do this, mom, do that, mom. And I was like, okay. And so I was like just going for it and having a really good time. And it was a lot different than what I'm used to doing. And so it was just, it was a lot of fun. And I encourage you to try different kinds of builds like this. Maybe not like exactly like this, but like where you can have like just a lot of fun and freedom, where it was like, you know what, who cares, let's go. And then I was like, I remembered these holes that came with life and death, and so like I went kind of nutso with that, and I tried to make that one really big, but it kind of didn't turn out. But yeah, so the holes are everywhere. They're in the deck. They're just, I should have done graves. That would have been really funny if I put graves in there. And then I was like, okay, these are good. These are good. And then I was like, kept going. Oh, this was so much fun. And then I remembered the door. What else did I do? Let's see. Oh, yes. And then the wallpaper is like paper. And then I was like, wait, that's not great because it's too uniform. And so I start doing some like metal sheets everywhere. And it doesn't make sense. And that's the idea. It's like this build doesn't make sense. Like it's supposed to be just chaos, which I think I achieved very, very well. So yeah, it's just go. And then I kind of like those vines because I'm like, well, what if like it's growing from the walls too? And I was like, no, that's too much. And then I did the outside, this grimy kind of wood, so that it just kind of went for it. And then I was looking for windows, and I was like, okay, I gotta do windows because otherwise it's gonna be too dark in here. But I was trying to find like broken windows. I could have swore there was some broken windows. Maybe there is, and I just couldn't find it. So, because I've got like pretty much every pack. And so like if you know like what pack came with broken windows, because I'm almost certain there was, please let me know in the comments, because I was like, what? Anyway, I just decided to go chaos with the windows, if you can't tell. This whole house, this whole building is chaos. And so then I started adding back the ceilings so that we can get the roof on. And then this was kind of a pain because it was like every little thing. But I got it. And then over here, just like all of them. And I accidentally moved that, but that's okay. Because, chaos. And then we get the roof. And then I'm still kind of trying to follow the blueprint a little bit here. So it's, so it, like I said, it's going to have good bones. It's just a matter of chaos inside. Like it's just been neglected. And so it just needs some attention, which you will see. So just fussing with the roof here. I don't know what else to say. It's not too exciting to do the roof, but you do what you gotta do. Then I extend that out a little bit more because I wanted it to look nice. And then I'm adding the pillars in here. Changing the roof or a little bit here. And then there we go. Makes it look cruddy. And then I'm going to start working on the outside here, which is just, you know, kind of dead. Run amok. Like the whole thing is just crazy. It's got to kind of mimic the inside, right? And so I just do a lot of dead trees, a lot of dead plants, overgrown. And then I was like, well, you know, let's just keep going. And then I realized that the ground looked a little too perfect. And so I fixed that. But first we're finishing off the pillars, and then here more holes in the ceiling. And I had a struggle because this one floated a lot, and I don't understand why it was floating. Because I wasn't up too high, and I was like, what? I tried to get close, and it was just like, I don't know. So these little ones worked, but that big one didn't, which is fine. And then just continuing on. Oh, and then I realized I should make holes, like, because it's like this ground has looked too perfect, and so I made little dips all over the place, and then I filled them with water, like they're having like a water issues in the yard. Which, fun fact, our yard has a water issue and we can't fix it. We don't know what the problem is. Anyway, so here we're just making them. I'm making them look like little like dingy things. And then I remembered I could do, well, first I do this, but then I remembered I could do stuff like add other things into the water, which you're going to see in a second. But just dry, barren, gross, just not cared for at all kind of groundwork. And then I'm like, oh, we need lights. And so then I add in the lighting. Which I was gonna do like from the like hanging lights, and then I was like, no, let's just do lamps. And so I just kind of scatter the lamps around because, you know, chaos. And then we do pivot back outside in a second. Let's see. And then I was like, oh, I need to make sure they can use the potty bush just in case. So here I started going a little crazy again. So I was like, oh, we should have mosquitoes everywhere because we have the standing water. And so I do a bunch of mosquito spawners. And then this one has an alligator in it. Because why not? And then I was like, oh, I should do lily pads. And I was like, no, that's too pretty. And so I left that alone. But yeah, we're almost at the end, you guys. Oh, and then I was like, oh, we should do a fountain in here to make it look like the toilet's like permanently broken. And so, I was kind of laughing because I was like, my friend is going to be like constantly trying to like fix this toilet and you can't without moving it first. And so then it was like, okay. And then here I was like, oh, right, we need mouse holes. And so I do mouse holes because, you know, this thing is overgrown with mice too. And then spider webs, because who could not have spider webs in a build like this? And then the cracks and holes in the walls that just make it look even more rundown. Mold, mildew, all the stuff, all the good stuff. Just going around, adding it everywhere. Stains, like who knows what this happened to this poor house. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're going to take a sky zoom of it. And then, yeah, I think it turned out really cool. I'm really enjoying how this looked. It was a lot of fun, as you can hear in my voice. But I'm going to show you what I did with it. All right, from rundown to fabulous. This is what I got. So this is what I created and redid for this build. And I think it turned out really pretty. And to be fair, I went overboard with the trees, but I think it looks really great. So let's do a little tour of what I imagined it to look like. So I'm not a huge fan of this being like straight up off the street like this, but it's okay. So they have just like a little deck right there, and then this is the master room. As you can see, it just looks beautiful now. No more trees and bushes and other craziness in there. The bathroom's redone, nice and pretty. Over here we have like a little study nook where it has like little like desks and then bookshelves. And then just like let's see, over here is like, yeah, the bookshelves, so it looks nice. And then here's the other bathroom and walk through, and then like nice little bedroom area. It's actually quite large bedroom area, with plants and stuff. I got rid of the door that was right there. And I put in the pool. Yeah, it looks really nice. And then here is the back patio with like barbecue, a little fireplace, and like this is where the trash is. So off the garage, off the kitchen, which now has a door. And then over here is the entry. So then you would come in and there's a nice piano. And then you have like a nice divider here that has the sitting area with our nice centerpiece that we worked really hard on, which has been fixed up a little bit. Let's see, what else? And then this is our nice big area for the business to go into. Nice renovated bathroom for the guest. Their little entry area here. And yeah, I did lighting, I did path work. Yeah. I think it turned out really pretty. I really enjoyed this build a lot, and I hope you do too. And I hope you are inspired. I hope you have a good day, night, or whatever time it is for you. I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.